Saturday morning. It's supposed to rain all day. It rained all night, which makes good sleeping weather, by the way, especially when you're in a van. Yes, good sleeping weather. So we are going to Asheville. Yes. And we're taking a shortcut across the parkway, a section of the parkway. September 2018, and my parking situation is very limited, and it's getting worse as time goes. It seems to be, anyway. I'm down to 2 places I can go to. And it's getting old. I'm tired. So I've been looking for a place that would be affordable to rent. Needless to say, I am not finding anything. When you're only bringing in $2,000 a month after taxes, you don't have a lot of options. That's why I'm in the van. I'm actually making more now than I was when I moved into the van. But at the same time, rent has gone just insane. The prices are just asinine. Yes, I use that word because it is. I find places for 55 plus people. I'm a 62-year-old. And honestly, the prices that I am given, I don't know how 55 plus retired people can afford the rent even there. I have been told that I probably won't find anything until I retire and can get on Medicare. Really. That's another 3-4 years at least. So I'm a wee bit frustrated. I'm gonna try not to stress over it, because I've stressed over this van for 2 years. But now, what's underneath the hood, 99% of what's under the hood is new. And it's got a new cat converter underneath the van. Well, nearly a year old now. So it's time for me to relax. This van, engine-wise, should last several years. I just gotta stop looking at the mileage on the odometer, because even though it's a new engine, and I know the engine doesn't have 200 and something thousand miles on it, my mindset is still, wow, I need to replace the diesel. Then I think, no, I don't. I have a new engine. So my stress level over the van needs to relax. And I really do want to make some changes. Last weekend really hit hard about looking for a place. And I put in an application for an apartment. I don't know when or if it'll come through. It's higher than what I really wanted it to be. It's higher than what I was told that it would be once I got out there and started asking questions. But it's a 55 plus community, and I don't know, can I get in there and then when I do retire and get on Medicare, would the rent lower with Medicare's assistance? I mean, how does that work? I don't know how that works, because I know once I retire I'm going to lose a certain percentage of my income, because Social Security will not be as high as what my income is. There's a lot of variables, and I don't know how this is going to work. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of variables, and I don't know how it's going to work getting into something that I know is going to be an issue once I do retire. Like I said, I've got 3 or 4 more years until I can retire. But as long as I can, and have to, of course, I'll still be working part-time. Notice the lighting changed on my camera. It's weird. But I'm just not sure how this is going to work. My thing is, I do want to make a change. Can I afford to make a change? Is it going to be a change that I'm going to have to worry about ending up back in the van after a few years? So I don't know. Hold on. Yes, I had to stop and let the dude with the dogs go by in front of me. Get them out of the rain. That's something that's on my mind is, am I going to end up back in the van in a few years because rent prices go up, but the income doesn't go up? Am I going to be in the same position as I was in when I moved into this van to start with? So it's some things that have been going through my mind trying to figure out. These apartments here, I don't know how well you can see them through the rain. There are apartments that look like this popping up all over Western North Carolina, and they all look the same. They're all gated. They all look the same. They're all so bloody expensive. And honest to God, I don't know who in the world is moving in there unless you got 2 and 3 full-time employees in each apartment to afford the rent, because it's very expensive. But around here they call that affordable housing. Yes, 1 bedroom, $1,500 a month plus, and they expect you to make 3 times the income, 3 times the amount of rent in your income to be able to rent. Who does that? We are at Kohl's. Kohl's. Now to find a spot to park. That person that will always pull through to where I can just automatically drive out. Let's go over here. So my thought process is all over the place, trying to figure out what to do. Like I said, the parking situation is getting harder. I've got a couple places that I can park. One of them not too often. And you don't really want to wear out your welcome. So, but I want to make a change. I just do. I feel the need. Can I? I'm trying. I am almost out of debt. And hopefully, since so much work has been done on the van, that it's not going in the shop every 2-3 weeks like it was for 2 years. And I have been throwing everything I can towards the debt that I've had. So hopefully, I found a credit card with no interest for the next 12 to 16 months. I can't even remember, but I figured the payments for 12 months because I'm dead set determined. Everything I can throw at it is going at it because I want out of debt. And I've been trying to do this since I moved in the van. And every time I'd get close, that tunnel would cave in. But I think I'm in a good position at this point that I can get it all paid off. Yeah. So that would help me out to get into another place. But it's hard to find something for $700 or below, even when it's 55 plus community. And I've been told a few times, you're not going to be able to find anything until you retire and get on Medicare, and they can help you. That's 3 or 4 more years in the van. I've already been in the van 7 years. And it's not easy. And I ain't saying I don't enjoy it. It's like my own little cocoon. But it's old. And I need a change. I want a change. And this is what I wasn't going to talk about in my last video. I just hinted at it. And I wasn't even going to bring it up until later on in the year to see what happens. But I have applied for one apartment so far. I found another place I want to go talk to someone about it and maybe apply for another one if what I have read in their advertisements is true. And that's the thing. Seeing a price for a certain size rental and then actually going up there and you're given a different price. Not only is that annoying, it's a waste of time. And disappointing. Highly annoying, though. But I think it's time for a change. It's just finding that place that I can afford. and it's not that easy where I live. The majority of places would take up 75 to 90% of my income for a monthly rent. I am not living with anybody else. I am not getting in a relationship in order to have a place to live. I am not having a roommate. I have been taken for everything that I've had too many times in the past. I love my solitude, my peace, the quiet. When I want to be around someone, I have that choice. But I don't want to, no. It's going to be a single income home. So, I don't think I should have to have a roommate or anyone living with me in order to make rent. And that's the problem in this country. Single income people get screwed all the time. In rent, in mortgage, in taxes. But he just went by me and getting in her vehicle. But yeah, single income people have it a lot harder than it should be. With this country, there's so much greed and just, that's why there's so many people living in their vehicles. People working full time, doing what they can to survive. And then you got people out there, just work harder. Just do this, just do that. It can happen to them too. So it's aggravating when people look down on you, not even knowing the situation, not even knowing what you've been through, how much you make, how hard you are trying. But there's always people that think that you're just lazy and you can't manage your money and you can't do this, you don't know what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. That's not the case. I've met a lot of people that are in my same situation, working full-time hours, living in their vehicle because the rent is too high. And every time they build an apartment complex and I say, this is for senior housing, this is for 55 plus community, this is affordable housing. And then you find out what the prices are. Retired people can't afford $1,500 a month, not on a single income. People, that's why there's so many people living in their vehicles. And yet so many places are giving those same people that are stuck a hard time because they are in the situation they're in. Instead of there being a solution and there being help, there being some kind of assistance, it's just harassment. It's just, there's a lot of places that are worse than what we have it here. But either way it goes, it's not looking good for people that are stuck in their vehicles or people that are hidden in tents. We know that they're out there. We don't know exactly where they're at. There's like a certain retail store in the area that you could drive through the parking lot in the evening. No, granted, I try not to go into Walmart for anything if I can avoid it. But I do have to go in there from time to time to get my allergy meds or something out of the pharmacy area. You can drive through the parking lot and there would be 8, 10, 12 plus vehicles that people live out of. And well, cars, SUVs, vans, RVs. I want to include the big rigs on that, but there would always be a lot of vehicles in the parking lot. Like I said, I've met a few people that are in the same situation as me. I don't know what's happened to them though, because now, over the Christmas holidays, they've cleared it out and they've put towing enforced signs up. So I don't know where all those people went to that you'd always see parked out there. They were there before Christmas. And then we went through the Christmas holiday, in which I was parked in a safe place while I had the flu over the Christmas break. Yeah. But when I got well again and first trip to Walmart is like, where is everybody? And where did the signs come from? When did the signs get put up? And it's just a creepy feeling. But that's what you start to see everywhere. I stopped to get breakfast at Chick-fil-A this morning. And I noticed, even in the parking lot beside of Chick-fil-A, there was signs, towing enforced. And it's just a really uneasy feeling, even to grab your food, park long enough to eat, and then move on. It's just a creepy, uneasy feeling. Is somebody come along and gonna bother you while you're eating just because you don't want to eat and drive at the same time? This country's getting out of control. This country's wanting to control everything we do, everywhere we go. And the amount of apartment complexes that are going up. In some areas, it looks more like a concentration camp. It really does. I mean, these apartments are going up everywhere, and they all look alike. Every last one of them, they all look alike. And they're all high priced. I've gotten so far off track. Hear the rain? I'm supposed to do this all day long. I'm going to get my umbrella. I'm going to go into Kohl's. Hope that they've got what I need. And then I think I go to the gym. I need to go to the gym. I need that hydrotherapy massage thing to beat on my back. And a good warm shower. I don't feel like walking the treadmill. But thanks for listening, y'all. Didn't mean to start rambling, but I haven't been on here in a while. Just sitting here listening to the rain. It's very peaceful. Very good sleeping weather, y'all. Very good sleeping weather. Alright. Thanks for watching. I'll see you another time.